Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check. I'm trying to think. Maybe there's. Is there a. What the heck? Uh. Okay, whatever. Just didn't update for some reason. I'm gonna talk about uh, test, test, test. I think I just. Okay, I'm gonna talk about what's it called? Not W. Did that break something? I didn't. I don't think I accounted for that in my code. I don't think I've ever either you know, just is it fine? Okay. Um so I may have overcommitted on my repo accidentally. Um I still have no idea what's going on with this. Also, um, where do I start? Okay, I think I said I was gonna do a bit of serverless stuff. So, um, just to dip into it, uh, so how do I explain? So I have a subdomain now that goes to a Cloudflare-ish API gateway type endpoint-ish uh, that has its certificates in order because it's my domain is .dev and it is very 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 strict about there's no HTTP anywhere, nowhere. So everything has to be HTTPS. It's uh, so um, and because I was doing this serverless thing, it is very different because before I had actual machine I could SSH into, and then use my Nginx or Node.js and then use my certbot to like quickly and snappily do everything. That's the way I'd normally do it. Um, uh, but now I have to go through all the infrastructure related to AWS, and I kind of went in with the wrong idea that it was gonna be, you know, it's everything's there. It should be a little bit simpler than something as complicated and scary as running certbot, a single certbot command. But uh, maybe this is good, maybe this is a bad thing. It's more complicated, but probably in a way that like makes sense. Where you have to add records to verify that you own the domain and stuff. There's like requirements, and so I wasn't aware of that when I went into it, but now I'm aware, and everything's good there. And the API gateway points to a Lambda function, which does some stuff with the bucket. So my main website also does stuff with the bucket because, files need to get in there and then files need to get out, of course. So my main website, which is why I'm going to show you the commit. It's not very interesting. It's like literally like 10 lines of code, 5 lines of code. But so main website, and then there's this subdomain just interacts with the bucket a bit differently. Is the only different thing, I think. Um, and I guess it's like my first dip into serverless, and from my understanding, it's not the right way to go with what I like. I wanted the subdomain to do something, and serverless was not the right way to go about doing that. But it's not very. It's not. Even though it wasn't like the right tool for the job, uh, it is not like veering off all crazily. It's like it's just I think uh it's a little bit less cost effective, uh which I'm not worried about because the scope's like it's not like a production type of thing. It's not anything crazy like that. Um and the actual cost, it's like it's still gonna be practically nothing either way. Uh and for which is okay, whatever. I'm sure it could. I'm sure eventually, as I do more stuff, I'm gonna find a use for serverless that is cost effective, and then I'll change the way the subdomain works to a more conventional setup. But right now, currently, just wanted to do it. Wanted to try it out, but also, uh, there was like an actual like a limit to what Lambda functions can do. I think that also made it possible that this wasn't the right tool for the job. But I'm dealing with like text files, and it's literally like I will never reach that limit anyway either way. So it's also fine. I'm not doing something crazy like delivering content or anything like that. Which so uh, for my main website and its interaction with the bucket. Uh, oh, another thing, a weird thing. Uh, okay, before I get into uh, just seeing that line of quotes sparked another uh weird thing I had. So um, I I popped up serverless node, the latest node, and by default it's just gives me to start in, what is it called? ECMAScript MJS, like by default ECMAScript. So basically, I had trouble, even though this is like Lambda by a, like this is a little bit maybe it makes sense or maybe it doesn't, but just from my experience I was just a little bit confused. I couldn't. Okay, so where's my commit? Okay, this line here, const AWS equals require AWS dash SDK, which is needed for interacting with, I guess, services related to AWS, and in my case, it would specifically be interacting with like an S3 bucket. Uh, now, uh, I maybe I'll learn in the future how to like import stuff. Uh, all I know how to do is do npm install on the console. But like with this Lambda stuff, I'm guessing it's a little bit weirder or different. There's something in like layers, which would probably I'd probably have to look more into. Um, but what I had to do in order to get it to work is go to an older Node.js version and then change it to just a normal JS file. Uh, don't know why that specifically allowed me to require AWS SDK without, uh, because it should have it by default, and it guess it did because all it took was like a different Node version uh, and I wrote the code in just JavaScript anyway, so it's like in either way. The only difference I think was the way ECMAScript does its imports, but so did that, and then I was able to just with no zipping or trying to install it on install AWS SDK on my local machine. I don't even think I have Node installed on my local virtual machine right here. So instead of going that route and then zipping it and then uploading it to Lambda, the solution was just to, instead of a Node 18x, do Node 14x, and then just make sure it's JavaScript instead of ECMAScript. So right here is, I guess, So this section is in post.js. So and only under specific file types, under my IP only as well and stuff like that. Only under specific file types, and the file type is I think it's like files. So there's documents. There's a server. There's documents. There's files. There's I don't even know the types. Server. Uh, documents, files, notes. Uh, oh, this is a very like specific type uh, where uh, its use case will be for the future, um, the far future, but uh, it's just different, uh, different stuff. Um, but yeah, uh, documents, type file, type notes, case user, so options and servers. I think there's a way to do commands and options and stuff like that. So just only to the file, uh, and um, not so I have two domains. I only wanted one of them to be able to. I only needed one of them to, and I mainly use the main function like I'm okay with like the other domain, like testing new features, breaking the website, stuff like that. But uh, I don't know. Not okay. I gotta, basically, so there's just a single environment variable, and I think in the future I could have an environment variable uh, to enter the bucket name itself. Don't need that right now though. Just enabling the ability to go to that specific bucket, but also uh, I did some stuff with IAM roles in AWS, so only a specific EC2 instance can upload to the bucket as well. Uh, so on that specific EC2 instance, uh, on the because I use is it systemd, I use a unit service file. You set the environment variables, and I set it to true, but it defaults to false. Just so I could have, I could just run this code without having to worry about it unless I want to specifically use it and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So yeah, and then if it is that specific EC2 instance on the domain, I'm forgetting how like the domain something about DNS, something about something. Uh, so that stuff. Uh, Honestly, I forgot what I was doing here, but whatever. This is something. Uh, so. Uh, okay. I know what to do. Uh, Show me more code. Okay, so um, so it checks the type. It checks if it wants to do it or not. It sets the parameters, and then it does just an S3 upload. Simple. I don't know what this code is. Oh, this is the code I worked on a little bit ago. Related to movement, deleting movement. Um, so not a lot of code to interact with the stuff. Just a lot of like fiddling around with like AWS stuff. Is uh, what serverless, my first serverless experience was like. So it's pretty cool. It seems like a lot of stuff is kind of like working together to create this very big and cool thing. Did I miss a frenzy? I really need to conjure big goods here, but I'm just rambling on. Uh, but yeah, there was typos, I guess. Uh, so yeah, I got a serverless part of my website, I guess, and it's in its own subdomain, which is cool. Very fancy. Subdomains are just really cool to me. Anytime I see like when I go to like the mobile version of YouTube and it's like m.youtube.com, it's like tucked away compared to like the desktop website. It's interesting. Subdomains. And one subdomain that I don't see, I don't think I've seen it before, but it would just make more sense. But I feel like mail dot something, or is it like uh, maybe this is only a DNS thing, but MX, I'm not sure. But like mail subdomains, my guess, although I haven't seen any, my guess is the reason like why would probably be uh interacting, like that'll be like the interface is at that location uh, to interface with the mail server. Uh, oh wait. Mail.yahoo.com. Is that right? I think that's right. But like Google has it's probably like an entirely different domain. Gmail. I don't know why. Uh, which confuses me a little bit. It confuses me as well. When I learned that. Uh, so this is GitHub. This is raw.github. It's under a different domain. Why? Like I feel like it's like it's a subdomain of a different domain, but I'm sure it's for a reason. But it's just like it's not what I expect. I could probably go to that domain and figure out why pretty easily, but it's like if I were to guess, uh, there's like a lot more related to user content at githubusercontent.com, where it makes sense to have it on an entirely different domain. And having the subdomain, it just makes sense for it to be on the other domain instead of the normal GitHub domain. I don't know. But the internet is pretty interesting. It feels like you could have an entire world just inside a specific spot on the internet. Um, I missed another frenzy. Dang it. Um, so, after this little cool serverless thing I did, there's still a lot more I gotta do. I don't. Looks like I might cut it close to Little Dare 54. Um, hopefully not. I really want like a week. And the reason why I want that week is I want to like clean everything up, put everything on my website, fix the menus related to. So I had to go into my old games. I'm probably gonna be programming a lot of my old games, and that'll probably make the next games I make better for the next jam. And so that'll be before the themes come out, and then once the themes come out, I'm gonna really like be prepared in all my ideas. I'm not gonna learn what the theme is for the jam and then start trying to come up with the ideas for a game like I've done every single time in the past. I'm gonna have as fleshed out ideas as I can before the jam. And depending on what happens, I may or may not be able to put my previous games on my website or not. Just with the stuff I had to do. But that is a step. And then after that, there's the interaction of this might be I probably have to do that. It's jam is coming up probably sooner than I realized, so I'm probably not going to be able to have an easy way to have my website interact with. So there's a way to control a directory with a website. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before. So if I wanted to use my editor to create my game, then it would be as simple as it would be as simple as what's it called? Just pointing to the directory of the project location. But it'll be a different because I won't have uh like quick like typo correction and like errors checks and stuff like that because I'll be writing to the files directly, and I think which I don't think would be. I'd still prefer to use my editor. I think I could probably just have a Python script run the game quickly, so I don't have to click around, and then that'll probably be fine. I have to concentrate. Oh, dang, not a single egg. So, and also autocomplete with the game maker's built-in function. I forget the name, but and what arguments it takes in, but all that stuff is always at the bottom. Autocomplete within the GML editor, so that's helpful that I won't have. But I guess I'll always have the documentation and can look up what function I need and stuff like that. Like, I guess, like, if I needed a function related to the camera, I think I could just type camera and it'll give me like a list of all functions with the word camera in it. So I could just like go one and, oh, this one looks correct, and then just use that one and it'll probably work most of the time. I won't have that quick stuff. Unless there's a way to have to tell, maybe in GML settings, to tell it to every. No, it's just, that's, I would just wouldn't be able to have that. I could probably the type of thing might be able to be done if I don't know, like GML can like refresh without needing to type, because I think it's like on key press stuff happens. And like, for example, if I were to like have a player file, write a bit of code with a different editor and save it, but I'm looking at that same file within the studio, then it wouldn't update unless I like. I think if I either pressed the key or closed it and reopened it. Not sure. But custom text editor interaction with Studio 2 would probably be after the jam. Is what it looks like. But before the jam, I'll probably be able to. I'm not sure what I'm gonna be able to do, but I might be able to quickly, you know, have a place on my website for my games. But I'd want to put like all of them there, not just like from Ludum Dare 54 and onwards. And I also, if I'm gonna do that, I really need to fix the menu system bug with my, figure out a good way to do menu stuff. But I think the core functionality of all my games are completely compatible with just pop them on either on a server or from a bucket. I could do something probably simple like static hosting, or I could just, I don't know. I'll go with the best option, the right tool for the job, of course. But the right tool for the job is probably going to be really, really simple. Whatever that comes out to be, because it'll just be. I'd want like, so the more I'm thinking about it, so there will be like the subdomain, which will have the big list of games. Uh, but there has to be two different things. There has to be like a page, saying like the description of the game, the controls, this, that, uh, I don't know, for like just, the page of the game. And then I think from the page I could link to the actual game itself. Uh, I think I don't know. So setup, I'm not sure. I think so. Just littlemdare.dev giant list of games. However, I want to display that with its what do you call it? Thumbnail thing. Um, and then there will be okay. And you just type in the number and you get the actual game itself. But I don't know if I want to do like dot page dot info. Maybe I could do something sneakily like that. That seemed a little bit weird. Uh, you know. I'm also a little bit. I don't know how I feel about the duplication of it. Uh, I don't think like I want it. I want the games on my site, and if they're gonna be on my site, they need like the information, the README, all the stuff to have it. Like it can't just be just the game, but also I don't want to just duplicate what I already have on the Ludum Dare Jam site. It just feels like repetitive and unnecessary, but maybe it is necessary because the games will be hosted on my site. I don't know. Maybe I could go more in depth, not more in depth. Uh, Actually, probably more in depth. Actually, that's uh, that's good. Where because I've archived footage of the creation of all the games. Uh, that'll probably be something, you know, on my site, but not doesn't make sense to add on the actual jam site itself. There'll probably be stuff like that. That'll, I think. Also, um, maybe I'm not sure. I probably don't need to do this, but one thing is, uh, on just the subdomain itself, with the list of all the games, maybe I could dip into like a bit of front end stuff instead of just uh, because I wouldn't need pixel perfect control, and I probably don't even need it to look good, but it'll be that opportunity to try out. So I've never used anything like React, Angular, or anything like that. Uh, Maybe I could try something out, or maybe that's just a bit overkill for just I'm just saying it might be an opportunity to try some of that stuff out. And then I don't know, further out. What's further out? It's probably gonna be the time where like then at that period uh smoother sailing, I guess. I'll still have projects to work on. I think like major projects that I have to finish, but then after that, uh, then it's still like doing stuff, but not to the extent that I'm doing it, and then branching out. I think. probably still be projects like having a client version of my editor instead of in a browser, stuff like that. Or this one's gonna be super expensive. gonna take a while for me to get there. So and I think it's good to diminish and then wait because it lasts for 5 minutes. Uh, but you see, this is at a 0.053, and then it'll probably go down to like 0.03, which is not good. As it's higher up in the bar, it increases faster, I think. I'm not sure how. Um, it would probably be more effective to, it's 0.038 instead of 0.05 to sell Wizard Towers. Wizard Towers. And I'll probably do that. Once I get. It might make sense to do that. It's kind of interesting. So the last building was added. I wonder if the Wikipedia changed on sugar lumps because it said to keep 55 extra sugar lumps in case a new building was ever added. But now, since the last one was added, I wonder if they updated it. Sugar. Dang, I guess these level 10 achievements are gonna take a while. I guess sacrificing garden a lot might be worth it. Uh, since it seems like the cookies per second achievements probably gonna be easier than the sugar lump achievements. I don't know. It just feels like getting all 34 seeds seems like a little bit less structure than the other mini games, I guess. Can get complicated. I need to change my profile pic. Change my avatar. Probably to the same as my accounts. Okay, well, I think I'm actually done here.